Penn State has an incredible track record of producing first-round talents along their defensive line. We have seen guys like Micah Parsons, Odafe Owe, and many more come out of this Penn State defense and go on to have great NFL careers. Today, we're going to take a closer look at one of the more polarizing edge prospects in the 2024 NFL Draft, and that is Penn State edge rusher choprobinson. A guy who has some of the most ridiculous high-end reps, but has some other serious question marks surrounding his game, and today we will be talking about if he is worth the gamble. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. This is going to be an extremely busy weekend for the channel. We are doing 12 prospect spotlights over the next few days, so if you guys wouldn't mind, consider leaving a comment, letting me know who you guys want to see next. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on a video. And without further ado, let's get into it. In 2022, Robinson put up some decent numbers on the year. He had 5 sacks with 9 hits and 35 hurries, and was a player a lot of people thought was going to take a massive leap in 2023 and cement himself as a potential top 10 pick. Unfortunately, Robinson didn't have the season he was hoping for. He battled some injuries this year and only finished the year with 3 sacks, 5 hits, and 18 hurries on the year, and it has caused a lot of people to ask some questions about choprobinson. The first thing that will step off the screen at you is Chop's athleticism. Chop is a guy who has some explosive reps. He has an elite get-off and has excellent quickness off the line of scrimmage. His speed and his ability to jump off the line of scrimmage is something that makes him really enticing in this class. Another thing that Chop does really well is that he has very good bend as well as some solid pass rush moves. He plays with an extremely high motor, and you can see it. This is a guy who doesn't give up plays, and he seems hungry every time he is at the line of scrimmage. He showcased some solid moves from time to time. He had a nice spin move, he had a solid swim move as well, and he has some really good strength. He is able to generate a ton of power due to his quick get-off, and it's one of his easiest ways to get into the backfield. He develops some really nice, strong, powerful plays from his lower body, and it's a really nice thing to see from him. He has a lot of tools that could really benefit him at the next level. He's just got to figure it all out. Chop has elite potential, as we've talked about. As a pass rusher, and when things are clicking, it looks like he could be an absolute superstar at the NFL level. The problem is, he's still an extremely raw player, and he's still incredibly inconsistent. The production doesn't exactly warrant the hype that choprobinson is getting. This is a guy who has only put up 8 sacks over his last 2 years in the college season. That's not exactly first round caliber. There are a lot of instances where he does still struggle to shed blockers. He hasn't figured out how to fully leverage himself and put together a package of moves in order to get to the quarterback. Another thing, Chop lacks the ideal length at the position. He is 6'3", 250 pounds, which is not awful off the edge. However, he has really short arms for the position. He struggled to use his arms to gain any space while rushing, and he just doesn't have the length I want to see from my edge rushers. His short arms are something that do concern me for him at the next level. Lastly, Chop is still very inconsistent as a run defender. He struggles to shoot the gaps in the run game, and in RPO plays and wide runs, he really struggles to read the play, and I want to see him improve as a run defender. Chop is still extremely raw, as we talked about, and it may be a bit of a concern to some people. He hasn't shown a ton of consistency in his game, and that is why he is my number 5 edge rusher. This is a good edge class up at the top, and there are a lot more polished edge rushers who I think can go in and have a more immediate impact. I think it's going to take time for Chop to really translate his game to the next level, but I still think he is going to be a high draft pick. He is my number 33 player in the class. In terms of a scheme fit, I think Chop will work best as an outside linebacker in a 3-4. Chop has the tendency to play with higher pads anyways, and he has the experience occasionally dropping into coverage. This would give him more situations to play off the edge and get to the quarterback. I think based off of his size and his length, he is best suited to play in this scheme at the NFL level. My player comparison for Chop Robinson is Azeez Ojulari. When Ojulari has been on the field for the Giants, he has flashed some really nice potential. Ojulari was a very raw prospect when he was coming out, and they are both extremely talented athletes. I think Chop is the better all-around player. I think he's got higher ceiling, higher potential, but there are some similarities I see in the two's game that make them comparable in my opinion. I've also heard a comparison to Shaq Barrett, and I went back and forth with Trayvon Walker. Walker was a former number 1 overall pick who was extremely raw but showed some elite athleticism. Chop is a lot smaller than Walker, which is why I decided not to go with that comp, but those are some names that I could see him kind of being thrown in discussion with. Chop Robinson is a very green prospect. He has a lot of upside and his potential is unmatched. Unfortunately, I think a team is going to see his testing numbers at the combine and be head over heels for him, and he's going to end up going higher than he ultimately should as a result. Ultimately, I think Chop Robinson will be a top 25 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.